Don't start an AI automation agency. There is something that you can do that is significantly better than that, but there is an opportunity of making significantly more money, be significantly more profitable, and even deliver much better results for your clients, which in turn is going to get you better results and better case studies. And that in turn is going to get you even more clients because of referrals and things like that. Now, for me personally, I run an agency where we work with lawyers and we sell AI services to them using the systems that I'll share with you today. And in the last 3 days alone, I've made £9,100 in my agency doing exactly just this, which equates into roughly about $12,200, give or take. In fact, yesterday alone, we have made about $9,000, which is about £6,500. And today we are waiting for a new client to come on the way for a $15,000 deal. So what I'll share with you today are three things. Number one, why you should not start an AI automation agency in specific. I'll also share with you what you should do instead. And then last, I'll finish the show with how to actually go about doing all of this. So number one, why should you not start the actual AI automation agency? Well, the very first thing is the commoditization problem and also the client value mismatch, because businesses don't want AI automations. What they want instead are actual real results, which in most of the cases is more leads, more clients, and more appointments. And on top of that, why would you want to sell a highly commoditized service that freelancers on Fiverr or Upwork can do for literally $100 to $500 instead of, you charging, for example, significantly higher than that, because you have that issue of being a commodity where there's other people that charge significantly less than that. While at the same time, if you can change a couple of things which you offer to instead sell an offer that's worth 10K plus and actually delivers growth and actual results for a client, why would you not do that instead? So what you should do instead, what I'm doing right now in my own agency in a sense, is we have an offer where we charge between $10,000, $15,000 to $20,000 upfront for our service. And what we do is, instead of us selling a basic AI automation, what we do instead is we actually have a solution in place that gets these clients exactly what they want, which is more appointments, more leads, and more customers for their business, which gets them more revenue. And the way how we have done that is through combining multiple AI tools, multiple AI solutions together to solve for every single bottleneck and every single gap that will prevent them from actually getting those more clients, more appointments, and more leads. So you want to do something similar where instead of you selling a basic AI automation, just figure out every single thing that will prevent them from getting more what they want, which is more clients, more appointments, more leads, and have a solution with AI tools put together that solves for every single one of those bottlenecks. And that's exactly what you can charge significantly more money for. The other issue with AI automation is that it's extremely low upfront fees, because since you're commoditized, and others are charging extremely low fees, you can't really charge a lot of money. And this kind of like yields into a problem where you have very low profit margins, right? And with very low profit margins, it's relatively difficult to scale because you can't really invest into the ad spend, into the marketing, into the outreach in a profitable way at a huge scale. And on top of that, it also makes it difficult for you to hire really good team members to get even better client results. And if you have, bad team players on your team for service delivery, then your churn is going to be absolutely crazy, right? And the other problem as well with not charging enough upfront is that in general, you just don't really have as much cash flow coming into the business every single month to be able to buy new clients. Because even as an example, if you would find a way to charge $3,000 as an example for an AI automation build out, but if you take a look at your actual numbers, such as your acquisition costs and your fulfillment, you don't really have too much left to buy new clients and be profitable enough where you're able to enjoy life in a sense. So if you have an example here, if your acquisition cost is $1,000, for example, right, and then your fulfillment is about $500, well, then you only have about 1.5K left, and that doesn't include any payment processor fees, any software fees, or anything else that you might have in there in order to actually be able to fulfill that service for the client and process that transaction, actually get that client. And then with that money that you have left, you need to basically go ahead and buy a new client, which means that you have even less money left in profit. And that doesn't take even into consideration the fact that if you try to get more clients at a higher scale, then typically the costs of acquisition are gonna go up, which means that if you don't have enough money that you charge your clients there, then eventually you're gonna get to a point where you will have even less profit left, where it just doesn't make sense to run the business anymore. And on top of that, also, if you look at the way how the human psychology works, is that people will buy if they see massive value in that service, especially in the service-based industry in a sense. So if you can convince somebody to pay you 3K as an example, you will also be able to convince them to pay you 10K. It will require just a tiny bit more effort and energy to push them past that additional $7,000 in that difference amount. So why would you charge 3K if you can have a better offer with more value and actually get them what they want, and charge significantly more than that and be significantly more profitable? Because this is what allows me to do in my agency, since we have our offer structured in the way how I explained, where we have an offer where we deliver exactly what they want. And that also allows us to have a higher closing rate because of the fact that we have an extremely irresistible offer that these businesses actually want. And that also increases their perceived likelihood of achievement because we have a significantly more in-depth service that solves for every single bottleneck. And also on top of that, because of the fact that we have a relatively premium price, it just subconsciously, tells the prospect that these guys know what they are talking about because they charge a lot of money. They wouldn't be charging this amount of money if they wouldn't know what they are talking about, right? And so because of this, we just also have significantly better client results and able to also afford much better talent to deliver even better results for clients, right? And also because of this, we have significantly less client churn because we deliver better results and clients are significantly more happy. And also the profits are really good because, if you think about it, you can profitably scale further and you have enough money left there to account for any increase in acquisition costs. For example, if you have an acquisition cost of 1.5K as an example, for us right now, it's between 1.5K to 2K, 2.5K, depending on the month. But if you look at this example here, 1.5K acquisition cost and a $2,000 fulfillment cost as an example, because you deliver much more in-depth service with more service delivery, points right there, right? And then you have another 1.5K acquisition cost to get the next client as an example. Then we have about $5,000 left right there in profit. And we have enough money as well in there to make sure that we account for any difference in actual acquisition cost increases or cost per book call increases and things like that. And on top of that, we also have the opportunity of increasing the price later on because of the fact that our offer delivers exactly what they want, which is more growth, more money in their actual bank account. And so the more money we make the client, the more money we can just simply charge ourselves. Because if I can help my client generate 300K, it's totally fair for me to take 10% of that, which is $30,000 for my service. But I wouldn't be able to do that if I would sell a simple AI automation service. It just wouldn't be possible. So this is why this structure right here works significantly better for me. And that's what I would recommend you to try out as well. And by the way, for context, if you are looking to work with somebody directly one-on-one who can help you build out your own 10K, 15K, 20K offer for your AI agency as well, and also have somebody who can coach you on how to close more deals, how to book more appointments with businesses that will want this offer, then you will find a link in the description section down below that leads you to my landing page where you can apply for one-on-one coaching with me. I'm currently taking on a couple one-on-one students at the moment for coaching to help them scale their AI agencies and things like that. So if that's what you're interested in, then you'll find a link down below. But with that being said, let me walk you through an example service that, for example, you could sell, which is a similar structure that I'm selling right now. There are 3 things that every single business needs, which is more leads. They need also really good intake, and then they need to be good at sales. If they have these 3 things in place and they're good at these 3 things, then they are going to be able to make a lot of money. So this is where you want to come in and actually help them for every single one of these 3 bottlenecks, which is going to allow you to have a full AI growth solution, which is going to allow you to charge 10K, 15K, 20K plus for your service compared to selling a simple AI automation that you could struggle to sell for even $2,000 or $3,000 as an example. So first of all, number leads. You want to help them with, that using a combination of ads and also organic content. This is the best match that I've seen working really well for us, where it could be a combination of Facebook ads, or it could be Google ads, depending on what type of niche you are working with right there. And the AI stack that I've seen working really well is HeyGen coupled with ChatGPT. Now, HeyGen is this software right here where you can basically create videos using AI UGC creators. And there is hundreds of different creators that you can choose from. And you can use this to create some really good video ads for the clients with different types of creators for a fraction of the fee that you'll pay to have an actual UGC creator do it as an example. So you do that, and then you also combine that together with ChatGPT, so that this way with ChatGPT you can come up with different content scripts content styles, hooks, headlines, titles, call to actions, and things like that, so you can then see which one is working really well and have these AI UGC creators record these actual videos. So this way you have a combination of Facebook ads or Google ads working really well to actually get leads for the clients. But also what I do in my agency is we help them with organic content as well, which works extremely well, since this way not only are they heavily reliant on ads, they also are building something long-term in terms of their actual social media presence and actually have a database of followers there where eventually if, let's say, Facebook ads slow down or Google ads slow down, they still have a good lead list on their social media that could go ahead and work with them basically. So the way how we basically do this is through a combination of these couple of softwares with ChatGPT, 11 Labs, Submagic, and also HeyGen. With ChatGPT, we come up with multiple different content ideas. And at this point, we already know which specific content ideas work really, really well in our specific niche. But for you to start off, you could use ChatGPT to come up with different types of styles and different types of hooks and different types of scripts that you can give the client as an example to record content with. But generally speaking, what I've seen working really well are reaction videos, educational videos, Q&As, and also results. So this way you have a combination of top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel content, where top of the funnel attracts new followers, new potential leads, middle of the funnel nurtures those people, and then bottom of the funnel kind of pushes them to go ahead and book an appointment and eventually become a client for your client as well, basically, right? Then with 11 Labs, you can go ahead and clone your actual client's voice. So this way you can record, or more as of like create videos, short form video content, where you slap on the client's voiceover in the video without the client having to record any videos themselves. You can come up with some really, really good content styles with just simply the client having its voiceover on the video. Or alternatively, you can take it to a whole another level where you can use HeyGen to pretty much have it clone your actual client, where you upload on HeyGen a video of the client, and there's a couple of terms of service you need to accept with that, but it's gonna use AI to actually clone that client in that video setting, and then you can use that as a template to punch in a script, and then HeyGen is gonna go ahead and using AI create videos as if that client recorded it, basically. So that is some next level stuff, so you can even do that as an example. If the client is extremely busy with recording content, then you can combine that together with this tool called Submagic, which allows you to completely edit the videos in the short form content style using AI. So this is something similar that we are doing right now for our clients as well, and we've seen this working really, really well. These businesses really like this organic content. But once you start to generate leads for the client, the second issue that they're gonna face that's gonna prevent them from getting what they want, which is more customers, is going to be the intake. And this is the tech stack that we use, which is a combination of Synthflow and High Level. Now with Synthflow, what it does is basically with it, you can create AI agents that go ahead and call these leads automatically within the first couple minutes as lead comes in. And this has been working really, really well. You can create multiple agents right here. I'm not going to explain in this video how to do it. There is a completely separate video on the actual tutorial on how to do it, but that's the tool that you can use right there. And then with High Level, we basically create all sorts of landing pages, emails, and SMS automations for that client. So we have that foundation right there. And also we go ahead and create some chatbot AI agents as well that not only, call those leads with Synthflow, but also on top of that, these leads get contacted with a chatbot through a text message essentially. So through a combination of this, you can help the client solve their intake issue. And then the last issue that they would have is sales. That will prevent them from having some incredible results. Because what I've seen over the years with these businesses is that they have extremely terrible sales processes. So if you do not help the client in some sort of way with the sales aspect of things, and they're not gonna stay because they're not gonna make money. So the way how we've seen working that really well is through this tech stack right here, which is ChatGPT and Fathom. Now Fathom is a actual AI note taker that can hop on your client's Zoom calls to basically record the entire call and also summarize it and take also the entire transcript. So when you have that, you're able to review your client calls and provide feedback to them, but you can also, upload that transcript on ChatGPT to have ChatGPT provide more in-depth insights on what they did well and also on what they have to go ahead and essentially improve on. So that's what we do right there. And on top of that, in my agency, we have some other solutions we have built for sales aspect of things as well, such as we have an entire 4-hour plus sales training that we share with our clients that they go through before we launch the ads and things like that. But if you don't have have the resources for that, then this is right here what you can help them with. And through you doing this, you are basically solving for every single bottleneck that they would have that will prevent them from making more money. And obviously it might differ on the niche. Maybe in some niches, depending on the niche that you're working in, there might be some other minor bottlenecks that they would experience that will prevent them from actually getting more customers. So you want to have solutions created for those as well. But like I said, the main way how you want to think about it is figure out every single bottleneck that that client would have that will prevent them from getting to where they want to get to, which is more clients and more money, and then solve for every single one of those bottlenecks, create an entire solution, an entire growth system for them that will get them to that result that they want to get to, and then combine multiple AI tools together to get them there. So take all of your AI automations that you normally would build and you would sell them separately, take them and put them together into one specific growth infrastructure and sell it as a whole package as a complete no-brainer path for them to get to where they want to get to. And this is something that is not commoditized. Nobody else can do this, and nobody else can outcompete you on Fiverr for 100, 200, 400 bucks to build out the exact same thing, because what you have now is something that is significantly more viable. And a couple last details that I want to share with you right here is how to kind of package this together, where what we do is we sell a 90-day program to get them these results. So you can do something similar, structure it as a 90-day program. And this way you help them with lead generation, you help the client with the intake, where it's completely powered by AI, and it calls those leads in the first 5 minutes, qualifies every single one of them before they're booked in on the client's calendar, and also ensure they show up. And you help them in sales, where you coach them on how to increase their closing rate, provide them a script that you've seen working really well for other clients, or if you don't have a script, then go ahead and use ChatGPT to create one as an example. And then on top of that, you can also provide some bonuses such as how to get 200 plus 5-star Google reviews, how to re-engage all their leads, how to increase their average customer lifetime value, etc., etc. And through you doing multiple of these things together, that's exactly what you can charge 10K, 15K, 20K plus for the actual service. Now, like I said, guys, if you want to work with somebody one-on-one who can help you build all of this, then you will find the link in the description section down below as the very first link. But other than that, I hope that you found this video really valuable. And yeah, I'll be seeing you in the next one.